Hi, I'm Larry Dignan with Constellation Insights, and we're here with the projects we're watching for July. First one, Ingram Micro's ransomware attack. As we all know, people are going to get hit with ransomware. It's not about getting attacked. It's about how you recover. Ingram Micro's recovery is still to be determined. What we do know is their execution during the ransomware attack was pretty spotty. Notably, their communication strategy, they didn't say a whole lot. And they were down for a good 5 days. I think they were kind of hoping the long weekend of July 4th was going to give them some air cover. It didn't. Meant a slow news cycle, and it meant Ingram Micro was all over the headlines. Now it's confessional season when they report earnings, and we will find out how they did. Notably, how much sales were lost, and also how much they paid in ransom. So watch for that closely. Our second project is Clorox. They are finally done with their clean data core and SAP S/4HANA migration. This thing was 4 years and $500 million in the making. And now we get to see the payoff, if there's one. The CEO's been under fire for this one. CFOs talked about it. And they've been talking about it a lot this year as they report earnings. And the big question here is whether this clean data core will get them some returns. They've talked about making everything more efficient. And they also talked about SAP making the whole field better for AI and future efficiency gains. We probably won't see these gains until fiscal 2026. But in the meantime, watch it going forward because it'll either verify or dispute a lot of the things SAP has been saying about, why you should upgrade to S4. Our third project to watch is Procter & Gamble's Supply Chain 3.0. Like every CPG company, Procter & Gamble's juggling a lot of things at once. For starters, consumers are fickle. There's inflation. There's component shortages. There's tariffs. You name it, they got it going on. And what they've talked about with Supply Chain 3.0 is basically having 98% on-shelf availability and digital availability, and up to 1.5 billion in before tax on productivity gains. And they also want to generate 90% of cash flow due to productivity. So you add it all up, they got multiple things going on here. It's a nice intersection of efficiency, AI models, supply chain process. And we'll see how much cost they can take out going forward. Along those same lines, our next project is FedEx's supply chain retooling. So if you've been following the supply chain and this year at all, there's tariffs, supply chains are being reworked almost every other day. And FedEx basically has a digital twin of its supply chain, and it has data on every country, every component, every industry, and it's been able to stay ahead of the curve. For instance, when folks were trying to move manufacturing out of China for Vietnam, they were able to scale up pretty quickly. This is FedEx's business. This is what they're supposed to be doing. So watch this digital twin strategy pretty well, and also watch to see how other companies emulate it. Our next project is JP Morgan Chase. Any company that spends $18 billion on IT a year is worth watching. They recently talked about their returns on AI projects. And what's interesting here is that JP Morgan Chase has basically spread AI out throughout the whole company. So every business meeting has something to do with technology, AI models, and how they're becoming more efficient. It's interesting because they started with a center of excellence, and now it's just proliferated all over the place. One thing to note that JP Morgan's been saying pretty consistently, AI is not about all Gen AI. It's really about good old-fashioned enterprise AI. And that's worth noting, especially as you do your own AI projects. So watch those returns. And then the final thing to watch is Netflix. Literally watch it, and also watch their ad stack. They completed a complete overhaul and built their own ad stack in April. That's when it went live. And now they're starting to see now they're ready to reap the returns. Part of those returns are basically advertisers saying it's easier to use, it's easier to program, and it just gives them a better conduit to Netflix. But as they go forward, they're going to be doing more efficiency, They're going to be basically just retooling this thing as advertisers, make suggestions on product features and stuff like this. It is notable that when a system is so critical to your business, like Netflix and advertising, it helps to take it over than rely on somebody else. So, and that's what Netflix did. They basically took their ad stack and said, it's ours, we're going to control it, and we're going to make it optimized for our platform. So watch that going forward. It's an interesting move because so many companies are at least thinking about building their own stuff. We've even heard companies build ERPs, CRM. So just watch that because it's an interesting test case going forward. And that's all we have for July. We'll be back in touch in a few weeks to talk about more projects we're working on.